Hey guys, just a trigger warning. This is gonna be a spooky episode. It's a little spookier than our normal episodes. I have facial hair in this one, and that's a little spooky. So, if you're prone to getting spooked, watch one of our other videos. We got less spooky videos. They're just as good, just less spooky. Check them out. They're there, or maybe there, or there, or there. It's in the ether. BigDumbContent.
Movie fans and vampiric viewers, welcome to BigDumbContent. Today, the ghouls and I are diving into 2010's Daybreakers. Joining me as always are my co-host, the ravenous Rafa.
This Count Dracula. I came to suck your plasma.
And as always, the creepy Carrie.
Hey, what's the knocker?
Got your hair making cheese.
Something wrong with my face?
Just a word to our viewers, we do not own any rights to Nintendo's famous monkey-related character, so we cannot say his name. So we'll be saying Monkey Man in this episode.
Monkey Man.
All right, now Rafa, can you give us a summary of this vampire thriller?
Daybreakers.
Hello, my name is Dave Breaker.
Daybreakers 2010 is a science fiction horror movie starring Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Claudia Karvan, and Sam Neill. In a world where vampires drive cool, sexy vampire cars and Man-Bat is just a hug away, Ed, played by Ethan Hawke, is just your average, everyday, regular vampiric hematologist fighting a worldwide blood shortage.
All right, boils, let's sink our teeth into this bloody feast of a movie. Carrie, do you want to go first?
Well, I would rather think that this movie is probably the best run of all time. There's nothing
Carrie, we can't understand a fucking word you're saying right now. You gotta take the mask off. Future mode, engage.
Oh my god, all right.
Mask off.
I could breathe in that Monkey Man. Huh.
What do you mean by that?
This movie is a unrivaled masterpiece. This movie has an almost a specific artistic dream that I feel honored to have been able to sit in and witness this dream. Some might call it a nightmare, but for me, this was an artistic achievement. Everything from the art direction to just Ethan Hawke absolutely sucking. Like, everything about this movie was
Sucking?
intentional and exceptional, and I had a great time. I love this movie.
Carrie loved this movie. That's horrific. All right, now let's get a word from our man in Amsterdam, Rafa.
After witnessing Daybreakers for now the second time in my life, I can officially say I am daybroken. This movie is for sure a vampire movie, okay? It's got vampires in it. That's one. But two, it sucks.
All right. Good. Two differing opinions. All right. Well, vampire movies, as far as they go, we've got a lot of vampire movies out there. You got your Blades, you got your John Carpenter's vampires, you've got your Francis Ford Coppola's Draculas, and then you got, Wes Craven's Dracula 2000. So a lot of movies out there to see that are full of action, have vampires, and that's about it. Quality ranges from each to each. I have to go with Rafa. This movie sucks.
What?
This movie makes John Carpenter's vampires look like Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. Not saying much, but man, not so good. Not so hot, Spierig Brothers. First of all, who the fuck are these guys? Does anyone know who these directors are? I've never heard of these guys until this viewing, this watch.
They're both the director.
They're an Australian duo that made like one zombie movie that was met with mixed success.
Mediocrity.
And then they somehow snagged this.
Are you serious? Yes. Oh, for
And honestly, it made its budget back. Like, this movie is a success. It was a budget of $20 million. They made $50 million worldwide. Like, yup. Capitalism's bad. People will eat each other. Did you get that? They're vampires. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Get a lot of sunlight. Capitalism fixed. There you go. Why didn't you think about that, dummies?
I feel like they're mixing metaphors in this movie, right? Where like blood equals oil, or blood might equal heroin, or blood is money. Like there's several ways you can interpret it in this movie that are equally valid.
And then the whole element, like that one shot, that's also the poster of like all the humans strung up, getting their blood sucked in the National Blood Bank.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing
National
being,
Blood Bank.
you know, everyone's ability to live day to day is at the hand, the suffering of millions of people. Like millions of people are being drained so these people can get their coffee, get their daily blood in their coffee, do whatever. Like it's all just right there, but then they just keep punching you in the face with it.
The Spierig Brothers just
and do absolutely nothing else.
The blood farm is basically the lame Matrix. It's like the exact same plot of the Matrix, where you know they'll keep all of these humans housed in these like pod things and just use them for their resources.
We got a post-Matrix movie on our hands, folks. Everyone's shiny and they got guns, and there's a message.
The craziest thing about this movie is that it came out alongside Avatar. Like, that's the most mind-shattering thing. This was top 4 at the box office alongside Avatar. Like, the idea that I could have left my screening of Avatar and gone to see Daybreakers would have absolutely, like, destroyed me as a young man.
Yeah.
But instead, I walked out of Avatar going, wow, 3D is the future.
In terms of genre, it's advertised as a sci-fi horror movie, but I think it's more sci-fi than horror at the end of the day, with all of the world-building elements they're throwing out there, and the fact that it's not scary. Like, they have a few jump scares, but come on. Like, really?
That guy stinks!
After that, it's like another Ethan Hawke movie where he's like in a weird dystopian future, just being handsome and walking around office buildings, Looking at you, Gattaca. Gattaca! Ethan Hawke's home does get invaded in this, like The Purge as well.
That's
By a
true.
vampire this time, not Purge people.
A weird, gross man bat.
Yeah.
Give it up for the man bat, the like only good effect in this whole movie.
The one scene where he's like, would you fuck me? I fuck you.
Weta Workshop worked on this. Like they designed
Weta?
the monsters.
No!
It's crazy.
No!
It's crazy. That's why it looks so good though. Like
What?
the design for that is like
This movie is like a sci-fi original movie in terms of effects.
There are bad effects.
There are YouTubers out there today who make better special effects.
that's what's so fascinating at the opening 2 minutes. That I was settling in for a good time. I knew it after that.
It turns a potentially engaging scene into a complete schlock,
Yeah.
And not in the Mars Attacks way, where it's like knowing what it's doing. The
No,
Spierig
that's a great
Brothers,
point.
I don't think they knew what they were doing.
So have we finished the script? No.
That opening scene sets the tone not only in terms of the storytelling and the kind of movie you're watching, where you're like, oh, okay, it's taking itself really seriously. But then it also visually, like, what kind of effects to expect, the color grading, like all of it is right there in the first scene. It sets you up, not in a good way. It sets you up for disappointment, but it sets you up.
It's very clearly shot in Australia whenever it's outside, like in the real world, which looks like a sci-fi original movie.
It really
Anytime
does.
they're not in Vampire Land, which let's see that movie instead, just straight lays Vampire Land. I don't know. What do you think, Carrie? How you feel about the vampire world building? Let's get back to this. When it doesn't look like it looks like Australia, but when it doesn't look like Australia in this movie, how do you feel about Vampire Land?
The thing is, I did not know how the vampire plague had happened until I read the Wikipedia page of this movie, which I am kind of convinced was written by the Spierig Brothers. It's the most detailed, filled out, log I have ever read for a movie this bad in Wikipedia ever. Like, it has scene beats. Like, it's beat for beat the entire movie detailed in the plot. And it also, of course, revealed that this whole plague was started by a infected bat that bit a human and spread the vampire disease around the globe. Was that mentioned once in the movie?
I'm surprised you were able to pay any amount of attention, Carrie. This movie was challenging me to turn it off through the entire film.
Come on, do it.
Post Twilight, post Batman Begins. We're in the latter day Bat phase of the 2000s.
We're in the man bat phase of history. But it's so weird. Everything is over-explained except the main thing that, catalyzes every other plot point is the plague. That's not explained at all.
Yeah.
But everything else over-explained.
I don't hunt humans. That is your job.
I find him, you farm him.
Dude, because we're the vampires. Don't you get it? Wake up, guys. The message is right there. Open your third eye. Show your fangs.
That's the
Talk about eat the rich, am I right?
So true, bestie. This movie's missing gameplay.
Yeah, and that's so all the world building, all of the atmosphere and stuff, all of that is pulled out of this movie. Like, there's no substance at all, because the substance would be the game that you're playing, but you're not given the game. You're given two people sitting in a room looking evil and talking.
We're talking.
This is a bootleg movie for all intents and purposes. Like, visually,
maybe that doesn't mean much to you.
It's cheap. It's a cheap movie. It's on Peacock right now. Give it up. Come on, folks. Spierig Brothers think they really popped off with Daybreakers, and I'm telling you, crikey, you did not, boys.
This movie could have been enjoyable. Like, if they really leaned into the sillier aspects and made this like almost a spoof of horror movies, or
think that's a fang. This is a fang.
I want to say, I would have loved to seen this with Ben Stiller in the main role as a comedy.
Come out, wherever you are! Shoot him again! Up your nose with a rubber hose!
Carrie, you seem to be the expert here.
Okay, yeah.
Did they ever talk about garlic? Because they talk about the sun, they talk about stake through the heart. Garlic being the third thing, is that ever brought up?
No, they just talk about how Ethan Hawke drinks pig blood or something like that.
Pig shit.
And that's what makes him.
I don't remember animals in this movie at all. I was going to ask.
Well, there's no animals, but I guess they have. That's like the off-brand
Pig shit.
I will say I did laugh when Frankie, Ed's
Bro.
Our main character's name is Ed, which I think is hilarious. Edward.
Ed TV.
Ed TV, bro. Ron Howard. Let's go. Ron Howard should have directed this movie. Anyway, hot take. Averted. Yeah, I laughed when Frankie, Ed's soldier brother, got yeeted by that man bat. That was the only time I laughed, frankly. Right into the wall, into the glass table.
That was crazy. So man bats have just like super strength, as soon as they hit you, you immediately become a wire stunt guy.
This is a rich person's nightmare. Like unhoused homeless people that are superhuman.
I wasn't working with them.
Imagine if crackheads came into your house with the strength of 10 crackheads.
This is what this movie is saying. Spierig Brothers, whose side are you on?
Again, this movie is saying so many things with the same metaphor that it takes away the message entirely.
It's a blanket metaphor. Capitalism.
It really is. They're just like, vampires are everything, bro.
Society is everything.
They aren't Willem Dafoe anymore.
Elvis.
Oh, Willem Dafoe. Elvis,
because we
aka,
gotta talk Elvis. We gotta talk The Cure.
The man who was a vampire who became a human, who is also Willem Dafoe with a nice goatee.
I ain't gonna bite.
Very down. This is down home Willem Dafoe, but it's not very good Willem Dafoe. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Seems impossible, don't it?
There are just a few great quotes of his.
Oh yeah, we can't forget my friends call me Elvis. I suggest you guys start doing now too if you want to get a little more respect from me. So thanks.
Okay, Elvis.
Living in a world where vampires are the dominant species is about as safe as barebacking a $5 whore, and you're like,
am I the only one who feels like this movie was written by like a really early AI?
An Australian AI known as the Spierig Brothers.
I think we finished the script.
I don't think you have, actually.
It just, I can't forget the two scenes where he just screams motherfuckers as like an exclamation. And it's just like supposed to be like a real badass Lionel Cormack, aka They Call Me Elvis moment. But it's just like a frustrated Willem Dafoe, really.
Motherfuckers.
I don't think they ever mentioned this, but his crossbow is a shotgun too? It's a cross-gun shotbow?
The shotgun crossbow that you actually see in the film was something that was designed and finished the night before we started shooting with it.
Again, Spierig Brothers, like you're trying to put like a Evil Dead Bruce Campbell moment here. It's like not really,
But it's not played as over the top silly. It's played like this is his badass crossbow shotgun thing.
And he's wearing tight jeans. Does he have cut off a shirt? Does he have a cut off shirt in this movie? I feel like he does. It's so unfortunate. Lionsgate, come on, you had something here, but you dropped the ball. Maybe, or maybe it was the Spierig Brothers. We'll leave it up to the number crunchers because really those folks, they're the ones doing all the heavy work.
Whenever it gets to an action scene where you've got those crossbows against the armored
against Blackwater forces.
Yeah, like it's
again,
you're just like
mercenaries versus the common people.
But how are any humans still alive? Like it literally makes no sense.
That's a great question. I ask that every day.
If they're using crossbows against full-bodied armor, like that was one of the scenes I thought was also kind of cool visually when they attack at night and like it's pure darkness and they keep shooting and you see them like light up. You see how many people are like pushing forward, coming at them.
Can I just say another Lionel Cormack line I love is cars have always been my thing, which brings us later on to his car reappearing, his big muscle, his T-Bird. Is it a T-Bird? I can't tell.
He drives all of these really old cars, but he soups them up with the vampire tech.
So strange.
Like he's driving around in that like 50s car, but it's got all the cameras and shit.
This character is meant to like kind of, I think it's kind of, a good surrogate for people who like to watch History Channel Pawn Star shows and stuff like that, It's a common man. A guy who was a vampire, but now is human again.
I don't know. It looks kind of suspect.
No one mentioned it, but the scene where he says, "Call me Elvis," he starts like singing to Ethan Hawke in a really like almost like he's trying to seduce him, like a seductive singing.
I didn't take that away from that scene, but I might have to rewatch alone by myself, if you know what I mean.
There's that. So there's the scene where he's seductively singing Elvis to Ethan Hawke, but then there's the other scene. Then there's the other part where he like grabs his hand in a really forceful way and he like puts it to his heart. He's like, "You feel that?" I felt something.
It's a bromance. I mean,
bro,
it's a romance. All right, take the bro out.
Maybe on Elvis's side, it's been a while since Elvis has had someone.
It's been a while since he's felt a vampire.
Elvis
got a date with a vampire.
I want to say Ethan Hawke. He goes from, for me, he went from like a cool, aloof, like kind of not pleasant character, just kind of like a whiny, like swirly guy when he's around humans. It's like a weird switch up.
Come on, get in my car.
Even before he gets turned into human, he's like, "I'll help you. Come with me." I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
And why would they believe him?
Just some like crazy guy.
Shoot him again. Don't.
He's a good vampire. He doesn't drink human blood. He's very purposeful on that.
He's very aloof.
He's kind of a dick about it.
He kind of sucks, frankly. He's not a great main character.
He comes off as like a vegan, like I don't drink human blood. Okay, do you know how bad that is for you?
It's a soy byproduct.
Fuck that.
It feels like a different movie. Every location that's like a place. Outside, it's like a cheap sci-fi movie. Like when Ethan Hawke first goes to meet Elvis. It's like a cheap sci-fi movie shot in like a DSLR. The Vampire World, it's like a CGI, like, you know, very graded, very like CGI, you know, iRobot vibe type there, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
but then when they're in the fucking human hideout, which looks like a Skyrim like tavern / like Spy Kids safe house.
This is one fucking ugly house.
It feels like they're missing a few passes. You know, like
Yeah.
how like VFX, they'll do like 8 or 10 passes, like layers of effects. They're just not done yet.
The end of our first pass through, and I think there's we're going to have a review on Friday and see how the rhythm of the film's coming along, and then I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Technically speaking, this movie is so sloppy. It's just not well done. Like, there are scenes in this professional movie that are out of focus.
worth the risk, man.
And it's like, bro.
Awful stuff. In terms of like action scenes, vampires explode, cars explode. It's just a CGI fuckfest.
Why is it that when a vampire gets stabbed in the heart, they literally blow up?
They just blow up.
Why is that?
There's no cool tech, or they don't introduce it. If you want cool tech and gory vampire movies, even though if it's not a good movie, check out John Carpenter's Vampires.
No.
I will say, if you're gonna watch this movie, right? If you have to watch this movie, watching it on Peacock might be one of the better ways to watch it because of all of the commercial interruptions
Oh my God.
that are just so perfectly timed.
So perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Hard cut.
This is Frogger.
We haven't even talked about Sam Neill as Charles Bromley, the white man. The man. He's literally the man in this movie.
Yeah.
Sam Neill. They fucking bite his head off. Spoiler alert.
I think he does an okay job given the material.
And Bromley, in all the previous early drafts, did not ever exist as a character.
Oh, he does a hilarious job.
All day, any day.
Uh-oh.
I would much rather watch Sam Neill chew it up, be this over-the-top cartoonish villain, than watch Ethan Hawke play the most dry milquetoast vanilla protagonist I've ever seen.
Dry vampire, gets his home invaded in the Purge. He is Gattaca. Very dry. Just dry roles. This guy, give him something to do, please. Let's get Ethan Hawke in some more whimsical movies. This poor guy, always depressed in these fucking movies.
The only thing keeping you alive is the pressure of the tractor.
It felt like they were trying to shock you, but I was just like,
I did take a shower, but that was not related to the movie.
I was crying. I think ultimately, like, the pacing of this movie, it's like scene to scene feels basically unconnected for the most part. Like, it's one of those movies where it feels like scene, like you have a Ethan Hawke doing science work scene, then you have a Ethan Hawke has to get talked to by Sam Neill, who is evil scene, and then you have like it doesn't feel like an actual cohesive story at any point. It just feels like, oh, and now you have to see this happen, and now you have to know about this.
I beg to disagree. I did see a lot of Ethan Hawke driving in this car in that first act, just milking his time.
there are points where he's not even driving anywhere. He's just driving. Like Carrie says, it's not a connective scene that he's going to a place. He's just doing something.
This movie is just
cut
looking
to
cool.
Ethan Hawke in car.
This movie just tries to look cool. Like, hopes that it gets by on that.
Yeah, style factor. He wants style points so badly.
The Cure.
Let's talk about that Cure, Carrie, okay?
It's like a fucking Mr. Wizard experiment.
Well, today you and I are going to do some experiments that involve fire.
What a poor fucking plot device. This is so boring.
So basically you get lit on fire and then you extinguish it and that cures your vampirism.
Daybreakers at home.
And the blood that you have has fundamentally changed from this process to now be also the cure.
Or we'll get a suntan.
There are two cures. One is much easier to get than the other one, admittedly.
Damn, the vampire CDC is going to have a hell of a time trying to get this messaging out. You're going to have anti-cure people for sure, refusing to get the cure. This movie doesn't end happily.
Excuse me.
I just think they could have, leaned into the kind of silliness almost instead
No
of
lean back. Lean in.
Lean in.
They should have found a cool new resource that they could have used up as well. That's the American way.
It kind of goes over the top in a pretty great way there, but
the slow motion, like almost Victorian painting where it's just people eating each other. I thought that was actually visually striking in a good way.
And then the end twist is that the real evil guy was the person that Ethan Hawke barely worked with on screen. And so it's this end revelation where he walks out and he's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm never gonna make sure that people turn back into humans. Yeah.
You just gotta be a good company man, Ethan. Come on. Ed,
But
I'm sorry.
specifically on the ending of this movie, it really feels they didn't end the movie.
We have a cure. We can change you back. It's not too late.
Like, there are so many unanswered plot points that it feels almost like you're setting up a sequel or you're setting up another story where we find out, like, okay, now they have a cure. They know what to do with vampires in order to bring them back to the side of humanity. But they don't have a plan on how to get that out there.
Everyone at the end of this movie is just gonna have to suck each other, bite each other. It's gonna be a lot of death. A lot of death. I don't know who's gonna come back in this world that's gonna be like living and well, you know. Donkey Kong. Oh, not again.
No.
Yeah, big anti-corporate movie.
Yeah, I mean, the messaging just gets so muddled in the fact that they are not willing to commit to any one idea.
When you got this movie alongside other big anti-corporate interest movies like Michael Clayton and Lord of War and Thank You for Smoking and Syriana and even Avatar, it falls pretty flat. Even Avatar has more things to say, frankly.
Honestly.
Unobtainium, guys, think about it.
I think the biggest fault of this movie is its writing. The script, in essence, isn't a good movie. So you're not gonna get a good movie out of shooting. You know, like I don't really blame the effects as much as I blame the premise.
Bruh. Lying down.
You know.
You swap out most of the cast, you change the script, you get a different set of directors, and you got yourself a movie on your hands.
Yeah. Daybreaking Bad, Ethan Hawke.
Did you come to finish me off?
I'm a big thumbs up. I would say I think this movie is so over the top and so ridiculous. Sure, could be more cohesive. It could be a lot of things, but I think the out there, like, eye-rolling quality of the schlock and everything that appears throughout the movie makes it such a fun time, and I had an absolute blast.
I will watch Predestination and get back to you, Spierig Brothers, but until then, do better. Keep trying. Maybe, I don't know. Carrie liked your movie.
I liked it.
So if you're the Spierig Brothers and you're watching this video right now, sorry, your movie sucks.
Food beware. Don't watch Daybreakers. Watch
Daybreakers.
Watch Tin Knockers.
Whoa, was this movie? This movie must have been R, right? What was this?
Yes.
They're titties. Can I say that on YouTube?
That's awful.